There comes a quiet moment in almost everyone's life, often in the middle of the night, when you're lying awake and suddenly realize you've been searching for something your entire life. Not with your hands or your feet, but with your awareness, with the deepest part of your being. You've been reaching for something that always seems just beyond your grasp, something that feels like it already belongs to you, yet somehow keeps slipping away. Then a question begins to rise inside you. At first it's soft, almost like a whisper, but it grows stronger with every passing second. What if everything you've been trying to find has been looking for you all along? What if the abundance, the dream life, the love, or even the lottery you've imagined is already moving toward you? What if the only thing preventing it from arriving is the identity you've accepted as true? This is where real transformation begins. It's not about changing the outside world first, even though your outer world will eventually reflect the change. It starts by changing who you believe yourself to be. Most people spend their lives waiting for proof that they deserve happiness, wealth, or success. They wait for the perfect opportunity, better timing, enough money, or someone else's approval before allowing themselves to believe their dreams are possible. They move through life as if they must earn permission to receive what they desire. But reality doesn't work that way. Your world is not creating you. You are creating your world. Your beliefs are not shaped by your circumstances. Your circumstances are shaped by your beliefs. Think about the idea of winning the lottery. Most people immediately connect it with luck, chance, or random fortune. But what if luck isn't random at all? What if luck is simply the visible result of invisible assumptions becoming real? Someone who naturally believes they are lucky behaves differently without even realizing it. They enter situations with confidence. They make decisions effortlessly. They notice opportunities others overlook. They speak to the right people at the perfect moment. To everyone else, it looks like luck. In reality, it is the natural outcome of the identity they carry within themselves. The universe is not ignoring you, nor is it indifferent. It constantly responds to the version of yourself you accept as real. This is not merely a motivational idea. It is the way consciousness expresses itself through life. Reality faithfully mirrors your assumptions. If you expect opportunities to pass you by, life will continue presenting experiences that reinforce that belief. If you expect blessings to find you with ease, reality will begin reflecting that expectation just as faithfully. Abundance never disappears. Opportunities never stop existing. Wealth is always available. The real question is whether you are living from the belief that these things naturally belong to you. Most people never question the assumptions running their lives. They inherited them from childhood, family, society, and past experiences. These beliefs became so familiar that they seem like unquestionable facts. Maybe you were taught that money is difficult to earn. Maybe you heard that only a lucky few succeed. Perhaps you were told that you must struggle endlessly before deserving anything worthwhile. Over time, these ideas became part of your identity, not because they were true, but because you accepted them without realizing you had another choice. The truth is that every moment you are already assuming something about yourself. Right now, you are carrying a feeling about who you are, what is possible for you, and what kind of life you expect to experience. That feeling is never passive, it is creative. It continually communicates to reality what you are prepared to receive. If you have been identifying as someone who eventually gets good things only after years of struggle and sacrifice, then your life has been faithfully reflecting that assumption. But imagine choosing a different identity today. Imagine no longer waiting for life to convince you. Imagine becoming the person who already expects good things. Assumptions shape nearly every part of your life. You assume tomorrow will come. You assume gravity will keep working. You assume the people around you have minds of their own. Because these beliefs feel certain, you rarely question them. Your assumptions about yourself operate in exactly the same way. Life is not withholding your desires because it wants to punish you. It is simply reflecting back the expectations you consistently hold. Your assumptions act like a magnet, and your experiences naturally organize themselves around that magnetic force. The people who seem unusually fortunate are not necessarily more talented or gifted. They move through life with the quiet certainty that success belongs to them. They already feel like the version of themselves who receives opportunities. When they buy a lottery ticket, there is no fear, desperation, or emotional struggle. Their confidence comes from the identity they have already accepted within. There's no desperate longing, no feeling that they're trying to wrestle blessings from an unwilling universe. Instead, they carry a calm confidence, a quiet belief that they naturally belong among those who receive wonderful things. That inner certainty is so powerful that it reaches into the future, drawing the version of themselves they desire into the present. This is the true secret. It isn't about forcing positive thoughts or repeating affirmations that your heart doesn't believe. It isn't pretending to be happy while you're hurting inside. It's about consciously accepting a new identity. It's choosing to feel like the person you want to become. Not one day, not after everything changes, but right now. Then you remain in that feeling. You speak from it, make decisions from it, and live from it every day. That isn't self-deception. It isn't denying your current circumstances. It's the deepest form of honesty with the universe. Through your assumptions, you declare who you believe yourself to be, and life faithfully reorganizes itself to reflect that belief. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine what it feels like to be someone who naturally receives unexpected blessings. Don't escape reality or pretend your challenges don't exist. Simply experience the inner state of a person who genuinely expects good things. Notice how they stand, how relaxed they feel, how peaceful their thoughts are. They're not anxious or trying to force outcomes. They move through life with ease, quiet confidence, and complete permission to receive. From that state, they naturally make choices that allow opportunities to find them. Modern science is only beginning to explore ideas that many great thinkers have understood for generations. Your dominant assumption shapes your inner frequency, and that frequency determines what experiences resonate with you. Every assumption is like tuning a radio. Change the station and you hear a different broadcast. When you genuinely assume you're fortunate, your attention shifts. You begin noticing opportunities that always existed. Your instincts guide you toward meaningful conversations, helpful people, and perfect timing. Your actions naturally move in the direction of your desires. It isn't magic, it's the natural expression of consciousness. Like a tuning fork, your assumptions determine the vibration you carry. Most people misunderstand this completely. They believe they'll finally feel worthy after success arrives. They think confidence comes after wealth, happiness after love, or certainty after achieving their goals. But the sequence is reversed. The feeling comes first, the assumption comes first, the inner identity comes first. The external world simply reflects it afterward. Your circumstances are never the cause, they are the result. For years, many people have unknowingly waited for the effect before creating the cause. Yet your assumption is the true cause. It is the magnetic force, while your experiences are simply what gathers around that magnet. When you genuinely become someone new, not just through ideas, but through a real shift in identity, you begin moving differently without forcing it. Your conversations change. Different people enter your life. Fresh opportunities appear. Others respond to you in new ways because they sense a different presence. Your energy has changed, and the universe naturally responds by matching that new frequency. This doesn't happen because you suddenly became more deserving. It happens because you changed the story you live from. And reality always mirrors the identity you consistently accept. Blessings are already seeking you. Opportunities are already moving toward you. Life is not holding back while waiting for you to earn approval or pass some invisible test. It simply responds to your assumptions. Right now, you have a choice. You can continue believing that good things arrive only after endless struggle and waiting, or you can choose a new assumption today. Feel what it's like to be someone who naturally receives unexpected blessings. Not with arrogance or desperation, but with calm certainty. Simply because that is who you are. The lottery is not separate from you. Abundance is not separate from you. When you fully identify as the person who naturally receives, nothing can permanently block what belongs to that identity. This is where many people lose momentum. They hear these ideas, feel inspired for a moment, and then quietly return to their old identity. They slip back into believing life is difficult, that success belongs to someone else, or that they must keep struggling. Because they return to those familiar assumptions, their experiences remain the same. Then they conclude the teaching failed. It didn't fail. Reality simply continued reflecting the assumption they returned to before the new one had time to become natural. Understand this clearly. Two opposing assumptions cannot guide your life at the same time. You cannot believe that fortune seeks you while secretly believing it never happens for you. Eventually, one belief must replace the other. Strengthen the assumption you wish to live from. Feed it with your attention. Strengthen it through imagination. Return to the feeling of already being that person over and over until it becomes familiar. Eventually, it becomes your normal state, and anything less begins to feel unnatural. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is one of the ways consciousness shapes experience. When you vividly feel your desire as already fulfilled, you are training your mind, your body, and your entire being to accept that reality. You are teaching yourself what frequency you choose to live in, and life responds accordingly. The universe always honors the identity you consistently embody. There is an unconditional generosity built into life itself. It doesn't demand years of suffering before allowing you to receive. The moment you genuinely accept yourself as someone who naturally welcomes abundance, you begin aligning with that experience. If you can feel it before you see it, seeing it becomes the natural next step. Life responds first to who you believe yourself to be. Your actions simply grow from that identity. Yet most people spend their lives trying to force external change while leaving their inner assumptions untouched. They work harder, chase more opportunities, submit more applications, and push with increasing desperation, never realizing the greatest transformation begins within. When you believe life has to be a constant struggle, reality keeps reflecting that belief back to you. It presents situations that seem to confirm you must keep fighting just to get by. Life isn't being unfair. It simply mirrors the identity you've accepted as true. That's why the real work isn't about pushing harder. It's about changing the assumption you live from. It's about becoming familiar with the feeling of someone who receives with ease instead of someone who must endlessly earn every blessing. Once that identity becomes natural, your experiences begin aligning with it. The moment you stop chasing and start trusting that what you desire is already moving toward you, everything begins to change. Your state changes, your energy changes, the way you move through life changes. This isn't something that requires anyone else's approval. It happens quietly within your own awareness. Ask yourself honestly, when you're alone, before you fall asleep, when you wake up in the morning, or during ordinary moments throughout your day, who are you believing yourself to be? Whatever answer you carry is what life continues responding to. Whether the lottery represents money, opportunity, love, or any dream, it naturally finds those who believe they are able to receive it. It finds those who have stopped questioning their worth, who no longer expect rejection, and who feel at peace with accepting good things into their lives. Receiving is its own kind of mastery. It is completely different from forcing, chasing, or grasping. The moment you embrace the identity of someone who naturally welcomes blessings, everything shifts. Not someday in the future, but now. This present moment is the only place your life is ever unfolding. If your assumption remains the same today, tomorrow will simply become another reflection of today's belief. Here's something worth remembering. Fear is often nothing more than an assumption about what might happen. Doubt is the same. When you expect disappointment, you're making a decision about the future before it arrives. You're assuming life won't work in your favor, and reality faithfully reflects that expectation. The beautiful truth is that assumptions can be changed. If fear is learned, confidence can be chosen. If doubt has been practiced, faith can be practiced too. You can begin assuming that life supports you, that opportunities naturally appear, and that you are someone who experiences fortunate outcomes. Life will respond to that new identity with the same consistency it always has. Perhaps the most powerful belief you can adopt is this: I am someone good things naturally find. Not someday, not after I become perfect, right now. This isn't arrogance, it's recognizing your own value. You are capable of receiving abundance simply because you exist. Consciousness is responding to you every moment, and life constantly reflects the assumptions you repeatedly accept. So why continue believing you are excluded from the good you desire? What are you protecting by holding on to the belief that blessings belong to everyone except you? Tonight, as you drift off to sleep, try something different. Instead of replaying worries, feel what it would be like if your desire had already arrived. Don't simply think about it, experience it emotionally. Let your body become familiar with the feeling of already having received. The state you fall asleep in becomes deeply impressed upon your subconscious. If you end the day identifying with struggle, you'll naturally wake up carrying that same identity. But if you fall asleep feeling fulfilled, supported, and fortunate, you begin waking as that version of yourself, and you move through the day from that new foundation. This isn't wishful thinking. It isn't pretending. It's understanding that consciousness is creative rather than passive. Every opportunity, every possibility, every unexpected blessing is continually moving through life. Your assumptions determine what you're aligned with. So ask yourself right now, what story about yourself are you living from? Because your experiences are already organizing themselves around that answer. Know this deeply. You have never truly been forgotten by life. You have never been abandoned by the universe. What often happens is that you've accepted those ideas as part of your identity, and reality has reflected them back. It wasn't punishment, it was a faithful mirror. The wonderful news is that the mirror changes the moment your assumption changes. There is incredible peace in releasing the need to convince life that you're worthy. Real peace comes from accepting that you already are someone who naturally receives. It isn't giving up, it's surrendering resistance and allowing life to respond to a new identity. The goal isn't to force opportunities to appear. The goal is to stop believing they aren't meant for you. Right now, pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Feel yourself as someone who receives with ease. Feel what it's like to move through life expecting blessings instead of obstacles. Let that feeling settle into your heart. Don't analyze it, simply experience it. That feeling is your assumption. That assumption is the message you're continually sending into life. And as that feeling becomes familiar, your experiences begin reflecting it back. This is the foundation of real transformation. Life doesn't improve because you struggle harder. It changes because you become someone different within yourself. The world doesn't recognize your worth only after you've proven it. It reflects the worth you already believe you possess. Luck isn't random. It naturally follows the identity that expects it. The abundance you seek is waiting for you to believe you can receive it. Life is waiting for you to stop waiting. As you finish listening, remember this. There is nothing missing within you. There is nothing you must repair before deserving happiness. You don't need to work yourself into exhaustion. You don't need to become more spiritual or somehow earn the right to receive. Your task is much simpler. Choose the identity you wish to live from. Feel it, believe it, step into it, then remain there. Allow life to handle the rest. As you fall asleep tonight, rest in the quiet certainty that your desire is already yours. Feel as though the life you've been seeking has already welcomed you, not with effort or strain, but with peaceful confidence. Become the person who naturally receives. Become the person who expects blessings. Become the person who knows life supports them. When that assumption becomes your truth, reality begins reflecting it immediately. Not because the outside world has changed first, but because you have. And this moment right now is where every new reality begins. And once you truly understand this, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop measuring your future by your past. You stop using yesterday's disappointments as evidence for tomorrow's possibilities. Instead, you recognize that every moment gives you the chance to choose a different assumption. And with that choice comes the opportunity for a completely different experience of life. Most people unknowingly carry their past into every new day. They wake up expecting more of the same because they've convinced themselves that life follows a fixed pattern. But consciousness isn't trapped by the past. The only thing carrying yesterday into today is the assumption that yesterday defines who you are. The moment you release that assumption, you become available to a new reality. Imagine walking through your day without constantly looking for proof that something will go wrong. Imagine expecting unexpected opportunities instead of unexpected problems. Imagine believing that every conversation could open a new door, every delay could be leading you somewhere better, and every challenge could be guiding you toward a greater outcome. That is not blind optimism. It is choosing a different foundation for your life. Your attention follows your assumptions. When you assume life is working for you, your mind naturally notices possibilities that fear would have ignored. You become calmer. Your decisions become clearer. You stop reacting from panic and begin responding with confidence. This is why two people can stand in the exact same situation and experience completely different realities. One sees obstacles everywhere because that is what they expect. The other sees possibilities because that is what they assume. The outer world may appear identical, but their inner worlds are creating entirely different experiences. Every assumption becomes a filter. It determines what you notice, what you believe is possible, and how you respond to every circumstance. Change the filter, and your experience begins to change with it. The beautiful part is that you don't need permission to make this shift. No one else has to approve of your new identity. No certificate needs to be handed to you. No perfect circumstances are required before you begin thinking differently about yourself. The decision belongs entirely to you. Right now, you can quietly decide, I am someone life supports. I am someone opportunities naturally find. I am someone who receives with ease. Then continue living from that identity, even when your physical world hasn't fully caught up yet. Remember, every great change is invisible before it becomes visible. A seed spends time growing beneath the surface before anyone sees the first sign of life. In the same way, your new assumption is taking root long before the results appear in your outer world. Don't dig up the seed every day by asking whether it's working. Trust the process. Continue watering it with your attention, your imagination, and your expectation. One day you'll look back and realize that the opportunities, relationships, ideas, and blessings you once prayed for began arriving naturally. They won't feel random. They'll feel like the inevitable result of becoming someone who expected them. That is the quiet power of assumption. It doesn't force reality. It invites reality to mirror who you've decided to be. So leave this moment with one simple decision. Refuse to identify with limitation any longer. Refuse to introduce yourself to life as someone who expects disappointment. Instead, introduce yourself as someone who is already aligned with abundance, already open to possibility, and already worthy of receiving. Carry that feeling with you today. Carry it tomorrow. Let it become so familiar that it no longer feels like practice. Let it become your identity. Because the greatest transformation doesn't happen when life finally changes your mind. It happens when you finally change your mind about yourself. And the moment that happens, life has no choice but to begin reflecting the person you have chosen to become.